Hello children, today I am going to start the last topic of your syllabus in computer applications, that is the looping statement. I will be starting with the for loop. You have three looping statements to learn. One is the while loop, second one do while loop, and for. This is as usual, I am not saying it's an important topic, but it's really a very important topic from Java. Without the looping statements and the conditional statements, you are not able to write a single program. So looping statements are very important to frame your programs. So you need to learn the looping statement in a very structured manner. That's why our discussion is going to be more important. I will be explaining the syntax, then its way of execution. Many programs, many example programs also will be demonstrated to you. So let us start our discussion related with the for loop. Loops, it is also called repetition statements or iteration statements. Throughout the discussion, I will be using iteration, otherwise loop. See, repetition statements allow us to execute a statement multiple times. So let us discuss first what is iteration statements. Iteration means it will allow you to repeat certain steps for a number of times. It may be fixed number of time or it may be infinite number of times. It's another name, as I told you, it is loop. Like conditional statements. Conditional statement, what do you mean by conditional statement? If else, if etc. are conditional statements. Just like that, this iteration statement also use Boolean expressions. Okay, so they are working upon the Boolean expression. Java has three kinds of iteration statements. First one, while, then do while, then for. So these are the looping statements available in Java: while, do while, and for. I will be discussing about for loop. So when you write your program, you need to choose the right kind of looping statements. So let us discuss the structure of a for loop. This is the syntax. You need to write the heading as for loop, then you need to write the syntax, then for, initialization, condition, update, then statements. These syntax you will be writing in your copy. See, for I have written in lowercase, and this is the first statement, initialization. See, the loop start with the for loop start with the initialization part. So you can say that this will be executed first. Okay, initialization means there is a loop variable. Loop variable means a variable which controls the entire loop. It can be called as the control variable also. Control variable, otherwise loop variable, that will be responsible for controlling this loop. That will be initialized here. Initialization means giving the basic value or starting value. Okay, first step. Then in the second step, condition will be checked. This is the second step. Condition will be checked. Okay, if condition true, then see the curly bracket. Statements mentioned over here will be executed. There can be one statement, there can be multiple statements. Whatever within this curly bracket will be executed. Okay, so this will be the third step. Now from here updation will be done. So from here it goes to the updation part here. Updation will be done. Updation about what? The value of the control variable. That will be updated. That will be increased or decreased. After this updation, this means step number, this is the fourth step. After this updation, again condition will be checked. After this updation, what will be happening? Condition will be checked here. Okay, condition will be checked. After that, if find condition true, if this condition is true, then again this block of statement will be executed. Okay, then this step will be repeated. Again updation. After execution of the block of statements, updation. Then again condition will be checked. If condition is true, then this block of statement it will be executed again. Okay, then condition will be checked. Then updation will be done. Then condition will be checked. If find true, this block of statement will be executed. This will continue up to what time or up to what number of times? Whenever the condition get false. You can see the flowchart for the for loop. See the flowchart over here. This is the variable initialization. Then condition will be checked. If condition is true, statement will be executed. Then updation will be taking place. After the updation, the control will go to the condition again. Okay. If condition is true, this block of statement will be executed. Then again updation will be taking place. This process will repeat. Whenever the condition is false, whenever the condition get false, out of the loop. This is what? See, the first time itself, after the initialization, first time itself, if the condition is false means straight away out of the loop. So this is what the flow chart. See the example here. See, variable count is equal to 1. See the variable, my variable is count. This is the initialization part. Initialization. Int count is equal to 1. Means I have declared a variable of type int and the name of the variable is count and its initial value is 1. That is this means. Now what is the second step? As I told you, this is the first step. Then as I told you, the second step is this particular one. That means condition will be checked. Okay, let us check. This is the second step. So let us check the condition. Condition means what? Count. Count means 1. What is the value of count? 1. 1 less than or equal to 3. See the condition. 1 less than or equal to 3. Okay. 1 is less than 3. So condition is true. Condition true means I told you this will be executed. Block will be executed. In the block, how many statements are there? Only one. I told you there can be one or more statements. Okay. So one statement is there. That will be executed. What is that? Println count. That means what will be printed? What is the value of count at present? What is the value of count? 1. That will be printed. Now count plus plus. Meaning is the value of variable count will be increased by 1. Okay. From here the control comes over here. So what is the new value of count? The new value of count is 2. Again condition will be checked. Let us check the condition. 2. Okay. The new value of count is 2. 2 less than or equal to 3. Just see. 2 less than or equal to 3. Yes. Again condition is true. True means I told you this will be executed. What is in this part? It is said print count. What is the value of count? 2. So 2 will be, see println, that's why in the next line 2 will be printed. Okay. Again count plus plus. What is the new value of count? Count was 2. Now count plus plus means the value of count will be 3. Condition will be checked again. 3, okay, 3 less than or equal to 3. 3 is not less than 3, but it is equal to 3. Less than or equal to. So 3 is not less than, but it is equal. So condition again here it is true. True means this will be executed. So what is there? What is there? Printing count again. So what will be the present value of count? 3 will be printed. Count plus plus. What is this? Now count plus plus means the value of count becomes 4. Remember, it is 4 now. Now condition will be checked. 4, okay, less than or equal to 3. 4 less than or equal to 3. Condition is, see, this condition is false. Condition is false. Okay, so the loop will be terminated immediately. So there is no more execution of this loop. I think this is clear for you. Okay, so let us see, the initialization section can be used to declare a variable. Initialization, okay, I have declared the variable. This condition will be checked before the execution of the body. Now there is one more point. Therefore the body of a for loop will execute 0 or more times. See, meaning is, if the condition, first step itself, if the condition is false, then 0 time this body will be executed. That means it won't execute. Okay, so there is a chance of execution for 0 or more times. In our case, how many times it was executed? 3 times. But there can be 0 also. When it will be 0? If the condition is false at the beginning itself. The for statement, certain facts are there. Each expression in the header of a for loop is optional. See, optional. That means any expression, the initialization, the condition, the updation, anything can be omitted by you. Okay, so it's not compulsory actually. If the initialization is left out, no initialization is performed. If the condition is left out, then always the condition will be considered as true. Then increment is left out, no increment operation will be performed. That's all. So if we are asking what is compulsory in a for loop, means there is nothing. See one example program here. Class I have declared, then see curly bracket of the beginning of the class I have mentioned, then main method, its beginning, okay, its opening. So opening of the class, opening of the main method. Now for int I is equal to 1. See the initialization part here. I have declared a variable of type int, and what is the name of the variable? I. Its first value, beginning value I have given as 1. Now condition will be checked. What is the condition? 1. I means 1. 1 less than or equal to 10? Yes. 1 less than or equal to 10. Yes, this is true. True means I told you this will be executed. Then println I means what will be printed? 1 will be printed. I plus plus. Okay. Then in I plus plus what is there? I becomes 2. Condition will be checked again. 2 less than or equal to 10. In place of this what will come? 2 will come. So 2 less than or equal to 10. Yes. Again this will be executed. Okay. So what will be printed? 2. And now you are ready to say how many times this loop will execute. Yes, your answer is correct. 10 times it will be executed. What will be printed by this loop? Yes, it will print 1 to 10 numbers. Okay, starting from 1 up to 10 it will print. Okay, so this was the explanation of for loop with the example. Now I am going to discuss something related with the for, that is break statement and continue statement. Break and continue, these are two statements that can be used along with the for loop. Okay, when the break statement is encountered inside a loop, the loop is immediately terminated and the program control resumes at the next statement following the loop. Meaning whenever this break is executed, I have given a break over here. Okay, given a break. when the control meets this break, then this loop will be terminated immediately. Okay, the program will be continuing after this. Whatever you have mentioned, see the scope of for loop from here to here. After that, if you have return statement, that will be executed, but this loop will be terminated immediately after meeting break statement. That is the. So let us understand this concept by this program. I have written only the for loop. See, for loop is starting from 0 and it's so 0 to 6 it will run. Okay, I plus plus. What is the initial value of I? 0. Let us check now. This is the starting of 4. If I means 0 is equal to 4, please say 0 is equal to 4. See, I am using double equal to. Whenever you need to check the equality, then you need to use double equal to. 0 is equal to 4. 0 is equal to 4 means false. So if it is false, this statement is false means this won't be executed. See, under the if, whatever statements you have given, it will be executed only if this statement is true. In this case it is false, so break will be executed. No, so it will print what? I means what? 0 will be printed. Okay, next I plus plus. What is I plus plus means? The value of I becomes 1. So let us check again. Condition is true. 1 less than or equal to 6 means everyone knows that it is true. Now checking. If I is equal to 4 means it is 1. 1 is equal to 4. 1 is equal to 4 means again this is false. So break won't be executed. Printing, what will be printed? 1 will be printed. Again I plus plus. Okay, what is the value of I now? 2 it is. Condition will be checked. 2 less than or equal to 6. Condition is true. Coming over here, again another condition will be checked. Okay, what is that? 2 is equal to 4. Okay, this is also false. So this is false, that's why this won't be executed. Again printing what? 2 will be printed. Okay, now 3 also we are knowing this will be executed. Now the case, consider 4. Okay, here 4 less than or equal to 6, right? Coming over here, 4 is equal to 4 is equal to 4. Checking. Now see this condition. Condition is true. Condition is true. True means the following statement, what is given just after the if will be executed. What is that? Break. Break means out of this loop. The control will be shifted here. So loop will be terminated. So I think now it's very clear for you. Whenever break statement meets there in a loop, within a loop, then immediately that loop will be terminated. Now consider the continue statement. See, continue statement breaks one iteration if a specified condition occurs and continues with the next iteration in the loop. See, continue breaks the current iteration, not the entire loop. Entire loop won't be terminated. The previous one, when it met I is equal to 4, that means 4 is equal to 4. Whenever it met, that loop was terminated and there was no more execution for the loop. Now here we are going to see with the example. This is important. Continue, it's a little difficult to understand, that's why be careful. See, the same loop we are running. So I am not going to explain. I am going to start with the initial value of I. I is 0. Okay, condition true. I 0 is equal to 0. We are going to check which is equal to 4. Okay, this is false. False means this won't be executed. Okay, this won't be executed. Then what will be executed? I means 0 will be printed. Okay, now this becomes what? 1. So again checking, 1 is equal to 4. This is also false. That means this won't be executed. What will be printed? 1. Now it becomes 2. 2 less than or equal to 6. Okay, right? Again here it is checking, 2 is equal to 4. 2 is equal to 4. This is also false. So this won't be executed. Coming over here, check, 2 will be printed. Now 3. This condition is true. Coming over here, 3 is equal to 4. No, this won't be executed. Coming over here, 3 will be printed. Next, it's a time for 4. Condition is true. Coming over here, 4 is equal to 4. This is true. True means immediately this will be executed. Okay, so what is going to happen? Continue means the present iteration will be left out. Okay, with I is equal to 4 which was going on, that will be left out. That means it won't print this execution will be left out. Okay, and it will go for the next iteration. So printing won't be done. Okay, it will go for the next iteration. That particular iteration where the condition is true, that will be abandoned and it will go for the next iteration. So what is the next iteration? I plus plus. As usually the loop will run now. Okay, it becomes 5. 5 less than or equal to 6. Yes, is equal to 4. This is false. So this won't be executed. This will execute. That means 5 will be printed. Now I plus plus, this becomes 6. 6 less than or equal to 6. Yes, right. Coming over here, 6 is equal to 4. Condition again false. Continue won't be executed. 6 will be printed. Now I plus plus, this becomes 7. 7 less than or equal to 6. Condition false. Loop will be terminated. So what is the difference between the previous program and this one? In this one, the output 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 4 won't be printed. And in the previous one, the output will be what? 0, 1, 2, 3. Because here 4 is equal to 4 is true, break will be done. So up to 3 it will be printed. Okay, so there is, whenever break is there, there is no more execution, just loop will be terminated. But continue is there means that particular iteration where the condition get true, that won't be executed, it will go for the next iteration. Is it clear now? See some example programs we are going to see now. Even numbers up to 20. We need to print even numbers up to 20. So as class, then main method, even mathematicians consider 0 as even. We consider from 2 only at present. So being the first even number, we are initializing this loop as 2. First starting value, I is equal to 2. I less than or equal to 20 because even numbers up to 20 we need. Okay, then every time the loop will increase 2. That's why I plus is equal to 2. I plus is equal to 2 I have mentioned. You cannot write over here I plus plus 2. No, this is the statement you need to write. Remember this. This is very different. I plus is equal to 2. This is the shorthand operator. Otherwise you can write over here I is equal to I plus 2 can be written. Okay, so let us check. The starting value is 2. Then 2 less than or equal to 20. Yes, condition right. And println I means what will be printed? 2 will be printed. Next, I plus is equal to 2 means the value, initial value I was 2, to that 2 will be added. That means 4. Condition will be checked. The 4 less than or equal to 20. Yes. Now println I, that means 4 will be printed. Next, I plus is equal to 2. I becomes 6. 6 less than or equal to 20. Yes, again this 6 will be printed. Now next I plus is equal to 2. It becomes 8. Condition again checking. Yes. So 8 will be printed. Okay. This way the loop will print what? Up to 20. Okay. 20 it will print. After 20 this becomes 22. Checking 22 less than or equal to 20. Condition false. Loop will be terminated. Odd numbers up to 20. There is no need of explaining this program. See the first odd number you are knowing. What is that? 1. That is why I have declared the initial value as 1. Okay. Now it will go up to 20. And every time the loop will be increased by 2. Incremented by 2. 1, 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 2, 5. So all the numbers will be printed. See the next program. Sum of first 20 natural numbers. Sum of first 20 natural numbers. See, in this we are not going to print the natural numbers. Natural number means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to find the sum of natural numbers up to 20. That means 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus up to 20. It's sum I need. So I have declared a variable sum is equal to 0. What is the purpose of this variable? Purpose of this variable is to store the sum of numbers starting from 1 to 20. So this is a memory location. It will be storing the sum. Okay. Now the numbers we need 1 to 20. That's why loop is running from 1 to 20. Every time the number, the loop variable will increase by 1. Okay. Now see the first I. Is that our first number? Yes. Then sum is equal to sum plus I. See, sum was initialized to sum variable. The value was initialized to 0. In this statement, what is written? Sum is equal to sum plus I. In sum, what is there? 0. 0 plus I. I means what is the value of I? 1. It will be added. Okay. Now, this is the fourth statement, its scope. Okay. This won't be executed. This is out of 4 statement. This is out of 4. This is the scope of 4. See the curly bracket here and up to here. So this statement will be executed how many times? 20 times. Okay. So remember I plus plus. I becomes 2. 2 less than or equal to 20? Yes. Again sum is equal to sum plus. In sum what is there? 1. Now in sum 1 is kept. Plus I. Plus I means what is the present value of I? 2. Okay. Now again I plus plus. I becomes 3. Condition will be checked. 3 less than or equal to 20? Yes. Again sum is equal to sum plus. In sum whatever is there plus I. I means 3. Okay. So again I plus plus. I becomes 4. Condition again true. That will be added. So this will execute how many times? 20 times. At last the sum of the numbers will be stored in which variable? Sum variable it will be stored. Then when the loop is terminated, the program control comes over here. Here what is written? System.out.println I. I means the, sorry, here you will be writing system.out.println sum, because sum is the variable where you have stored the answer. So this will be written as sum. Okay. So sum will be printed. Is it clear? Now see factorial of a number. Okay. This is the program and we will be discussing this factorial now. Okay. Factorial means this is a very different program. Okay. Factorial. Let us see the example for a factorial. See, for factorial, this is the symbol for mathematical notation for factorial, meaning 1 into then 2 into then 3 into then 4. This is 4 factorial means. Okay, so 6 4 24. So you need to print the answer as 24 as the factorial for 4. See, if I am asking print the factorial of 5, okay, print the factorial of 5, then what will be the answer? 4 factorial, you are knowing 24 into 5, 120 will be, 120 should be printed. So that is what factorial means. So this is your number. This can be 4, this can be 4, otherwise this can be 5. Okay, so A can be 4 or 5 or whatever number that user will give. This is the variable where I am going to store the factorial. As the sum, I am going to store this multiplication in this one fact variable. I have initialized this variable to 1. Do you know what is the reason? Yes, we are going to perform multiplication. If you keep it this as 0, then you will get the ultimate answer as 0 only. That's why we are kept it as 1. We are going to perform multiplication, that's why. Okay, see, we need to get the factorial means we need to multiply. Suppose my input is 4, then how many numbers you need to multiply? 1 2 3 4. So the loop should run from 1 to the number. Which is our number? At present I am considering 4 only. So which is our number? 4. So 1 to 4 it will run. A means, see, I am taking the input as 4. That's why it will run up to 4. Okay. First step, fact is equal to fact into I. In fact, what is there? In fact, 1 is there. See, fact is a variable. Fact into I. Already in fact, what is there? 1 is there. 1 into I. I means 1. Okay, this is happened just now. Now see the scope of this for loop up to here only. Remember that the curly bracket you need to look at. Okay, I plus plus, I becomes 2. 2 less than or equal to 4. 2 less than or equal to 4. It's correct. This will evaluate to true. Again, fact is equal to new value of fact will be fact into I. In fact, what is there? 1 into 2. Okay, 2 will be performed. Now I plus plus, this becomes 3. 3 less than or equal to 4. Yes, again fact is equal to fact into I. Whatever is there, that will be multiplied with 3. Okay, next I plus plus, this becomes 4. 4 less than or equal to 4. Yes, again fact is equal to fact into I. Okay, so fact into I means, see, up to here we have multiplied. Into I means 4 also will be multiplied, and this will be kept in fact. I plus plus, this becomes 5. 5 less than or equal to 4. False. Loop will be terminated. Loop is terminated. Now the control will come over here. System.out.println the factorial of plus A. The factorial of is a message. Plus A means the value of A will be printed. What is that? 4. So factorial of 4 is equal to fact. What is in fact? 24. You just multiply what is there? 24 will be printed. So this is the program. Now we are going to see the real output of this programs. See, even number. See, this is your program. Even number up to 20. Okay, even number up to 20. This I have already discussed. So this is your program. If it was not clear, you can write from here. Okay, then we are going to run it. See, even number. See, even numbers are printed up to 20. Logic was explained. Now the next sum of even number up to 20. See, we need to calculate the sum. So sum variable is here, then even number, that's why 2 onwards it's starting. Okay, increment by 2. Then this logic was explained. Okay, this is only to show the output. See, I have, after the termination of the for loop only, I have printed this sum. Why? Otherwise, if I am printing this over here within the loop, it will print 10 times the sum is equal to the sum is equal to. That's why this statement I have written out of the loop. Okay, so let us see the output of that also. 110. Now sum of odd numbers, instead of 2 1 will come, there is no other changes. Okay, so let us run that also. Okay, sum of odd numbers, see 100 printed. See then natural numbers up to 20, its sum. This was the program. Then I am closing it, then running it. Okay, 210. Now this was the factorial one. See the program, your factorial, this is the variable, and 1 to a, it may run up to 4 5 whatever number you give. So this was the step. Then factorial, same message I have printed. Let us run this program. See, first void main, you will be asked for a number over here. I am giving 4. Okay, see, factorial of 4 is 24. See, this type of message, for that only I have printed this system.out.println like this. The factorial of, it is a message. A means the value that you are giving is equal to message fact means the value of this variable. Okay, now I am running it again, so that you will be getting, see, 5. I told you 120 should be printed. See, 120 is printed. So that is factorial program. Now we are going to see another one, factors of a number. See, for example, if you are giving 6, then which are the factors of 6? You are knowing that the factors of 6 means 1, 2, 3 and 6. These are the factors that has to be printed. Okay, so this is your input number, that is 6. Example I am considering as 6. In A, suppose you are storing 6. Then this is a message, the factors of 6. Okay, the factors of A, this is only a message. So factors of whatever number you give, that will be printed. I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to A, I plus plus. The loop is running from 1 to the number. That's why 1, starting from 1 to the number, whatever number you give. If A modulus I is equal to 0, when you can say a number is a factor, if you are dividing that number, A modulus I means, what is A here? 6. 6 modulus I means 1. 6 modulus I, when you divide 6 with 1, are you getting the remainder as 0? Yes, then that number will be printed. I plus plus, I becomes 2. Okay, 6 modulus 2. 6 modulus 2, are you getting 0 as the modulus, the remainder? Yes, that case also it will be printed. Next, I plus plus, what is the value of I? I is 3. 6 modulus 3 is equal to 0. When you divide 6 with 3, are you getting the remainder as 3? Yes, in this case also what will be printed? I will be printed, 3 printed. Okay, so up to here it is printed. Now the case of 4, divide. Okay, condition is true over here. Divide 6 modulus 4. 6 and 4, when you divide, what you are going to get? Okay, you will be getting the quotient as 1 and the modulus as 2. So is it coming, the modulus as coming as 0? No. So 4 won't be printed. Next, 5. 5, again 6 modulus 5 is equal to 0. Say, when you divide 6 modulus 5, then you are getting remainder as 1. Okay, so in this case also I won't be printed. Again coming 6 modulus 6. 6 modulus 6 is equal to 0. When you divide 6 with 6, the modulus you are going to get as 0. So 6 also will be printed. This is the logic of this program. Okay, now consider the example. I am giving 6 only. The example what we have discussed, that I am giving. See, factors of 6. 1, 2, 3, 6. Let us give now the next number as 10. Okay, 10. See the factors of 10, 1, 2, 5 and 10. Okay, now The same logic we are going to use there in our next program, that is prime numbers. Okay, so we are going to see what is a prime number. This is very familiar for you. In mathematics you have learned the numbers which are having only two factors, that means the number and 1, the number itself and 1. See 2, it's having only two factors. Consider 3, how many factors it's having? It having only two factors, the number and 1. Such numbers are called prime numbers. So this is the number you are going to check for prime. Consider, I am considering getting the input as 3 now. I need to check whether 3 is prime or not. Okay, I have made a counter variable as 0. Very important. Only one variable I have initialized and it is initialized to 0. This is a counter variable. Okay, now my loop is running from 1 to a, that means 1 to 3 it will run. 1 to 3 it will run. Okay, if a modulus I is equal to 0, the same logic was applied in the previous program also. That means a means 3, 3 modulus 1 equal to 0. 3 modulus 1, yes, it is 0. When you take the modulus 3, when you divide with 1, will you get the remainder as 0? Yes. Then this counter variable will be increased. Now what is the counter variable value at present? What is the counter variable value? The counter will be is equal to 1. Okay, now I plus plus, I becomes 2. Condition is true here. Again 3 is our number. 3 modulus 2 is equal to 0. No, this won't be increased. This becomes I plus plus, means it is 3 now. Condition is true. 3 modulus 3 is equal to 0. Yes, 3 modulus 3. When you divide 3 with 3, you are getting the remainder as 0. Counter will be increased. What will be the new value of counter? It will be 2. Now I plus plus, the value of your loop variable increased by 1 and the new value is 4. 4 less than or equal to 3, condition false. Loop will be terminated. See, this loop will be terminated. Coming over here, if count is equal to 2, see the value of count here 2. Checking this value of count is equal to 2. Yes, count. What is the value of count at present? 2. 2 is equal to 2. Yes. In this case, what will be printed? The number is prime. All other cases, what will be printed? The number is not prime. Okay, so we are going to run the program. Compile, close, then prime number. Just look at a number for 3 itself. See the answer. The number 3 is prime. Now consider another number. 4 I am giving. The number 4 is not prime. 4 is a prime number? No, because 4 is having how many factors? 1, then 4, then 2. Total how many factors are there? 3. So when you count this 4, number 4, if you are giving, then how many factors will be counted over here? 3 factors will be counted. 3 is equal to 2? No. So else will be executed and this message will be printed. Next is perfect number. See, perfect number program we are going to see. Let us understand what is a perfect number means. Consider a number as 6. This is your number 6. Okay, you just get the factors of 6 except that number. Okay, you are knowing that the factors of 6 means 1, 2, 3 and 6 will come, but don't count 6. Then find its sum. Okay, so 2 plus 3 plus 1 is equal to, please count the sum. What is the factors? Its sum 6 is coming. So such numbers are called perfect numbers. Okay, so our class, this is your number and this is the variable to perform the sum of the factors. This will be added and kept in this variable. Okay, now loop is running from from where the loop will run? Starting from 1 to the number. So I less than or equal to I have not kept. Do you know what is the reason? Because I don't need to include which number? The original number itself. That's why I less than a. If I write equal to, what will come? What will come? 6 also will be counted. I don't need to run the loop up to 6. Up to 5 only I need to run it. I don't need to count the loop up to 6. That's why I have written the loop I less than a. I less than a, in the case of 6, the loop will run from 1 to 5. Okay. Now this step you are knowing. What it is checking? Whether it is a factor or not. If it is a factor, the factor will be added to which variable? Sum. Consider our number as 6 itself. Okay. So 1 to 5 the loop will run. First value of I is 1. So 6 modulus I is equal to 0. Yes. Then some variable will be equal to, what will be sum? Sum is equal to sum plus I. In sum 0 is there, 0 plus 1. That means 1. Next step, I plus plus, this becomes 2. Now condition is true. Coming over here, 2, 6 modulus 2 is equal to 0. Yes, this case also sum will be added. What is that? Plus 2 will be added here. Now I plus plus, this becomes 3. Condition is true. Coming over here, 6 modulus 3 is equal to 0. Yes, again what will be added? Then 3 will be added. Next, this becomes 4. 6 modulus 4 is equal to 0. False. This won't be added. 4 won't be added because it is not a factor of 6. I plus plus. Then again 6 modulus 5 is equal to 0. No. So this also won't be added. I plus plus. Condition becomes false. So which all are the numbers we are going to add over here? 1, 2 and 3. They are the factors. So its sum is kept in which variable? Sum variable. So loop is terminated. We are coming over here. Sum. Sum means 6. What is the sum of this? 6. 6 is equal to A. What is A? Our original number. Original number, what is that? 6. So we are checking the original number and the sum what we have formed, both are equal. In this case it is equal. That's why what will be printed? The number. The number is a message. Plus A means the number 6 is perfect. Okay. Let us see the output. See, I am giving 6. Then coming over here, the number 6 is a perfect number. Okay. Let us give another number as 7. Okay. 7. Now 7 is not perfect. Next, the last program, that is Pronic number. These all programs are very important. Pronic number. What is Pronic number? 3 and 4, 12. Okay. It should be, if you are getting here 3, then 4 should come. Okay. If you are getting 5, then 6 should come. Otherwise 5 and 4 should come. So that way. See, 5, 4, 20. These numbers are Pronic numbers. Okay. When you multiply consecutive factors, then you should get the number. Okay. So let us check that program. This is your number. I have written all the program with the function argument in order to make the program length short. That's why. In the num, this is your number. Consider this number as 12. What I am going to consider? 12. My num is 12. Okay. I have declared a variable flag is equal to 0. This is my variable. Its value is 0. At present, what is flag? 0. Now for I is equal to 0, I less than num. So from 0 the loop is running up to less than 12 means up to 11 it will run. Now checking if I into I plus 1. I means 0. 0 into I plus 1. 0 plus 1. 0 into 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 means 1. So ultimately this becomes 0. 0 is equal to num. Our num is 12. So this is false. If this is true, then flag will be 1 and break. In the particular case, we will see that. Okay. Now this should not happen. At present, it won't be executed. Okay. So loop will continue. From here, the loop will come over here. Again, I plus plus. I becomes 1. Remember, I, what is the value of I? 1. Now this is very important. Consider. I means 1. 1 into I plus 1. I plus 1 means 2. Here 1 is there. So 1 and 2 when you multiply, are you getting 12? No. This won't be executed. Again this becomes what? 2. Okay? 2. Now checking. 2 into I plus 1. This will be executed first. I plus 1 means 2 plus 1, 3. 3 into 2. 6. 6 is equal to 12? No. So this won't be executed in this case also. I plus plus. Okay. Now this is the case with the 3. Now this is very important. Look at 3 and this will be evaluated first. I plus 1. 3 plus 1, 4. 4 and 3. When you multiply 4 and 3, is it coming as 12? Yes, it is 12. Now what is going to happen here? It's very important. Flag is equal to 1. Flag will be changed 0 to 1. It will change. It was 0. Now it will be 1. Break. Now no more execution of this loop. Such any condition becomes true, then flag will be altered. It was 0. Now it will be 1. Then break. Break means loop will be terminated. We have defined the loop up to 11, but loop is terminated at which number? 3. Okay. Now coming out of this loop, this is the scope of if, and this is the scope of for. You can see out of the for loop, because break was applied, coming and checking flag is equal to 1. What is the summary of flag is equal to 1? We have basically kept it as 0. If it is 0 itself, then what will print? Not a Pronic number. Now in this case, in the case of 12, this is changed. In the case of 12, this flag was changed to 0 to 1. We are checking if there is any change happened, then what will be that number? It will be a Pronic number. So this is the logic of Pronic number. Is it clear? So you need to write all these programs in your copy. Let us see the output of this Pronic number also. Okay. We will give first our example 12. See, Pronic number. Next, we are considering 20. 20 Pronic number. We are going to consider 21 now. 21. It's not a Pronic number. So we have come to the end of our discussion about for loop. I will be presenting some more programs in the next video related with the for loop. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.